All members, please come to the floor. All members. All members come to the floor, please. The hour for convening having arrived, all members will please come to the floor and take their seats. Mr. Clerk, will you ring the bell? We're going to have the morning roll call. All members present will please vote green to signify their presence in the chamber. And Mr. Clerk, will you unlock the machines? Have all members voted? Not quite, but we're getting close. All members, we got you, Doc. Now, have all members voted? If so, Mr. Clerk, will you lock the machines? Doorkeepers, will you please close the doors and keep them closed? As is our custom, we will begin our day with scripture reading and prayer by the chaplain, after which we will pledge allegiance to the flag of our country. Our chaplain today is brought to us by the gentleman from the 22nd House District, Representative Jordan Ridley. Spoke to Reverend Ben Day a few moments ago. I'm not going to ask you to stand now, but on our mind, I know it is on all of our minds there about the tragedy that occurred in Washington last night. Pastor Day will have some thoughts, and those folks and their families will be remembered in his prayer. And we appreciate that. Representative Ridley, if you'll come up and introduce our chaplain of the day.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today I have Father Ben from Christ Episcopal Church in Kennesaw. Father Ben graduated from seminary from Emory University here in Atlanta. He's originally from South Carolina. And before his time in seminary, he actually worked in Capitol Hill in D.C., so he shares a lot of similarities with us here today. Father Ben, in his time running Christ Episcopal Church, has doubled the congregation size from 40 to 120 members, if I'm correct. And he's also the chaplain for the City of Kennesaw Police Department, and his ministry at the church helps those with substance abuse disorders and law enforcement. And one thing about Father, all of his amazing accomplishments, I think the one that is the most amazing is he actually makes a Ridley want to go to church on Sundays. And with that, Father Ben.
Welcome. Good morning. Good to have you.
Speaker Burns, Representative Ridley, and honorable members of the Georgia House of Representatives, it is my privilege to stand before you as your chaplain of the day and to bring you just a quick and brief word about the concept of duty, that ancient and sometimes inconvenient calling that rests as a mantle upon those who are called to lead as you are. Before I began, as you heard, I confess that yes, in my 20s, I worked in political management on several legislative staffs, running campaigns across the Southeast. And as should be obvious by the collar around my neck, I have now dedicated my life to eternal repentance for those years in politics. But looking back on that season, I feel as though I know a little something about what I'm going to say to you this morning. If there's one thing I learned during my time, it is that public service, for all of its noble intentions, has a way of putting you in situations that you never expected to encounter. Some of those situations are inspiring, some frustrating, and some make you wonder if you accidentally signed up for reality TV rather than elected office. But duty from a Judeo-Christian standpoint is not a burden upon you, but is a gift and a blessing, even if it lacks the shiny wrapping paper and bow. The duty of leadership, particularly that of elected leadership, can often feel more like the prophet Jonah calling the people of Nineveh. Unexpected and uncomfortable and prone to detours. Jonah, as you may recall from the Hebrew scriptures, had a very clear instruction from God to go to the people of Nineveh and to teach them a better way. Instead, he took a boat in the opposite direction, only to end up in the belly of a fish, likely reconsidering his career options and choices that put him there. Legislators, I dare say that you may relate to this story in ways big and small. You have been called to serve, and many of you had a vision, a passion, and a deep love for your communities. But duty often puts before you tasks that are difficult and that you never really considered when you signed up to run. Long committee meetings, difficult votes, patiently waiting through the phone calls and emails from all hours and times from constituents who, well, let's just say, are very passionate in their opinions. Maybe you wonder at times if you've accidentally boarded the ship with Jonah to Tarshish, hoping for smooth sailing, only to find yourself in stormy waters. And yet duty, when embraced, has a way of bringing transformation and miracles, not just in the lives of those who you serve, but in your own hearts as well. The Apostle Paul wrote to the people of Galatia, "Let us not grow weary in doing what is right, for we will reap at harvest time if we do not give up." Paul wrote this from a place of deep experience through beatings, persecutions, imprisonments. He surely knew that he was doing what is right, but it was exhausting. It was easier to do what was expedient, what was popular, and what keeps the peace. Yet duty calls us to something higher, and in the end, Paul could say with confidence, "I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith." Fulfilling his duty to God was not easy, nor was his path smooth, but he remained steadfast in his calling, trusting that his labors were not in vain. And his journey reminds us today that perseverance in the face of hardship is not only worthwhile, it is in fact holy and good. Moses, too, when leading the Israelites, certainly had moments when he wanted to turn in his resignation. The people complained about the food, questioned his leadership, and at one point even suggested they return to enslavement in Egypt. Apparently, slavery with a side of onions and leeks sounded better than freedom with a bit of uncertainty. And yet Moses remained faithful to his calling, even though it cost him dearly. Your duty here is not just the bills you pass or the debates you win, but the people you serve and lift up, the widow, the orphan, and the stranger, and the protection you give to the God-given freedoms and liberties of this land. In fact, the Hebrew and Christian scriptures are quite clear that the duty of leadership is not about power or authority, but it is about service. Jesus himself, the greatest leader I know of, demonstrated this when he knelt to wash the feet of his disciples, a task reserved for only the lowliest of servants in the household. If the Son of God could stoop so low to serve, then surely we who are called to public office, to public service, can find it within ourselves to serve in the common good with humility, wisdom, and grace when duty calls us to the work of governing. So today, as you take up the work set before you, may you find strength in knowing that the duty you have been endowed with, though often demanding, is always worth the sacrifices and the humility it demands. For God truly blesses duty faithfully executed. And if you ever feel like Jonah, just remember, Nineveh turns out all right in the end. So may God bless you in your service, and may wisdom and grace guide your every decision for the remainder of this session. Would you stand to pray with me? Almighty God, you have blessed this land and entrusted us with its care. Help the people who always remember your blessing to seek and to do your will. Bless our nation and our state with meaningful work, wise education, and virtuous behavior. Protect us from violence, division, pride, and falsehood. Defend our freedoms and bring unity to all the diverse peoples you have brought together. Grant wisdom to those who govern, so that they may seek justice, ensure peace, and lead with integrity. In times of prosperity, fill our hearts with gratitude, and in times of trouble, give the faith and strength for all of us to endure. We ask all of this in the name of Jesus Christ. And today, as we remember those who have been lost to the tragedy in the District of Columbia, we ask a blessing upon all who are grieving, all who have been lost to life eternal, and all who are working to preserve the common good and peace. We ask a blessing upon those who grieve and mourn this day, and we ask that we would remember them in our hearts and be faithful to the work that has been set before us. And we ask your mercy and grace and peace upon all who are serving in the recovery efforts, even at this hour. In the name of Christ our Lord, amen. Would you join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First class. Thanks for that message. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to get things started. The doorkeepers, you may open the doors. Members, you may join Father Ben in the South Anteroom if you would like to greet him and thank him for his message and get a photo with him. Thank you for that message. We really, really appreciate the thoughts and prayers that we all will be offering up for that terrible tragedy. Thank you again, and thanks for pastoring Representative Ridley's church and being so successful there in that community, and your service to the police department as well. Thank you. Our doctor of the day down in the aid station is Dr. Syed. And Dr. Syed comes to us at the invitation of Representative Esther Panich. Thank you, Representative Panich, for inviting our doctor. Great work. Chairman Hilton, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits, is recognized. Chairman Hilton.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker. We are glad to have you and our colleagues back safe. Thank you for representing us at such an important ceremony yesterday. We behaved ourselves while you were gone. Your Committee on Information and Audits has reviewed the journal of the previous legislative day and found it to be correct.
Chairman Hilton, thank you. The chair of the Committee on Information and Audits reports that the journal of the previous legislative day has been read and found to be correct. Is there any objection to dispense with the reading of the journal? Chair hears none. The reading of the journal is dispensed with. Is there any objection to the confirmation of the journal? Chair hears none and the journal is confirmed. The clerk will please read the resolution establishing the order of business for the day. Mr. Clerk.
Representative Administration of the 104th moves following be established as the order of business during the first part of the period. Unanimous consents. Introduction of bills and resolutions. First reading and reference of House bills and resolutions. Second reading of bills and resolutions. Reports of standing committees. Morning orders.
Is there any objection to the adoption of the resolution establishing the order of business for the day? Chair hears none. The resolution is adopted. First reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill 164 by Representative Meeks of the 178th, Hagan of the 156th, Buckner of the 137th, Dickey of the 134th, Cannon of the 172nd, and others. Bill be entitled an act to amend Article 2, Chapter 6, of Title 32 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to dimensions and weights of vehicles.
Transportation.
House Bill 165 by Representative Franklin of the 160th, Fry of the 122nd, Williams of the 168th, Werkheiser of the 157th, Cameron of the 1st, and others. Bill be entitled an act to amend Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to revenue and taxation.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 166 by Representative Franklin of the 160th, Corbett of the 174th, Hagan of the 156th, Buckner of the 137th, Smith of the 138th, and others. Bill be entitled an act to amend Chapter 4, Title 1 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to holidays and observances.
Special Rules.
House Bill 167 by Representative Hagan of the 156th, Abstration of the 104th, Cannon of the 172nd, Dubnik of the 29th, and Osteen of the 169th. Bill be entitled an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 3 of Title 27 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to hunting.
Game, Fish, and Parks.
House Bill 168 by Representative Horner of the 3rd, Kelly of the 16th, Cannon of the 172nd, Ridley of the 6th, Camp of the 135th, and others. Bill be entitled an act to amend Part 1 of Article 3, Chapter 8 of Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to county special purpose local option sales tax.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 169 by Representative Cannon of the 172nd, Dickey of the 134th, Corbett of the 174th, Osteen of the 169th, Huddleston of the 72nd, and others. Bill be titled Act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 5 of Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to general provisions for ad valorem taxation.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 170 by Representative Mathiak of the 82nd, Hawkins of the 27th, Green of the 154th, Jones of the 143rd, Taylor of the 173rd. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 3 of Title 33 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to authorization and general requirements for transaction of insurance.
Insurance.
House Bill 171 by Representative Thomas of the 21st, Jones of the 25th, Donna Tucci of the 105th, Hagan of the 156th, Carson of the 46th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Part 1 of Article 3, Chapter 12 of Title 16 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to general provisions relative to obscenity and related offenses.
Judiciary Non-Civil.
House Bill 172 by Representative Huddleston of the 72nd, Abstration of the 104th, Dickey of the 134th, Fry of the 122nd, Ford of the 170th. Bill be titled an act to amend Part 6A of Article 7 of Chapter 3 of Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated related to state veterinary education.
Higher Education.
House Bill 173 by Representative Taylor of the 173rd, Cooper of the 45th, Newton 127th, Green of the 154th, Osteen of the 169th, and others. A bill be titled an act to amend Part 3 of Article 16 of Chapter 2 of Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to student health in elementary and secondary education.
Education.
House Bill 174 by Representative Ballard of the 147th and Jones of the 143rd. Bill be entitled Act to authorize the municipal court of the city of Centerville to charge a technology fee.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 175 by Representative Jones of the 25th, Irwin of the 32nd, Dubnik of the 29th, Wilkerson of the 38th, Dempsey of the 13th. Bill being titled an act to amend Chapter 1A, Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to early care and learning.
Education.
House Bill 176 by Representative Smith of the 18th, Gunther of the 8th, Evans of the 57th, Miller of the 62nd. Bill be titled an act to amend Title 5 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to appeal and error.
Judiciary non-civil.
House Bill 177 by Representative Cooper of the 45th, Silcox of the 53rd, Carpenter of the 4th, Reeves of the 99th, and New of the 40th. Bill be titled an act to amend Title 19 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to domestic relations.
Judiciary.
House Bill 178 by Representative Cooper of the 45th, Hawkins of the 27th, Stevens of the 164th, Taylor of the 173rd, and Drenner of the 85th. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 7 of Chapter 4, Title 49 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to medical assistance generally.
Public and community health.
House Bill 179 by Representative Smith of the 18th, Hong of the 103rd, Leverett of the 123rd, Gunther of the 8th, Evans of the 57th. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 2, Chapter 6 of Title 5 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to appellate practice.
Judiciary.
House Bill 180 by Representative Smith of the 18th, Scoggins of the 14th, Kelly of the 16th, Hong of the 103rd, Gunther of the 8th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 9 of Title 15 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to probate courts.
Judiciary.
House Bill 181 by Representative Earhart of the 36th, Camp of the 135th, Hilton of the 48th, Donatucci of the 105th, Silcox of the 53rd. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 10 of Title 31 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to vital records.
Judiciary.
House Bill 182 by Representative Lumsden of the 12th, Taylor of the 173rd, Cannon of the 172nd, Williamson of the 112th, Prince of the 132nd. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 25 of Title 33 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to life insurance.
Insurance.
House Bill 183 by Representative Seaball of the 34th, Kelly of the 16th, Reeves of the 99th, Illustration of the 104th, Crow of the 118th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 21 of Title 43 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to rights, duties, and liabilities of innkeepers.
Judiciary.
House Bill 184 by Representative Lumsden of the 12th, Crow of the 118th, Williamson of the 112th, Prince of the 132nd, Hitchens of the 161st. Bill be titled an act to amend Titles 40 and 44 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to motor vehicles and traffic and property.
Motor vehicles.
House Bill 185 by Representative Earhart of the 36th and Powell of the 33rd. Bill be titled an act to amend Title 43 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to professions and businesses.
Regulated industries.
House Bill 186 by Representative Ridley of the 22nd, Jones of the 47th, Ridley of the 6th, Ford of the 170th, and Williamson of the 112th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 485C1 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to an alternative ad valorem taxation.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 187 by Representative Washburn of the 144th, Powell of the 33rd, McDonald of the 3rd of the 26th, Carpenter of the 4th, McCollum of the 30th, and others. Bill being titled an act to amend Titles 8, 10, 36, 43, and 46 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to buildings and housing.
Regulated industries.
House Bill 188 by Representative Lim of the 98th, Holcomb of the 101st, and Lupton of the 83rd. A bill being entitled Act to amend Titles 17 and 19 and Title 44 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to criminal procedure.
Judiciary.
House Bill 189 by Representative Lim of the 98th, Carpenter of the 4th, and Lupton of the 83rd. Bill be titled an Act to amend Chapter 17 and Title 45 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated related to notaries public.
Judiciary.
House Bill 190 by Representative Lim of the 98th, Davis of the 87th, Lupton of the 83rd. Bill be titled Act to amend Chapter 3, Title 44 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to regulation of specialized land transactions.
Judiciary.
House Bill 191 by Representative Moore of the 91st, Cummings of the 39th, Crawford of the 89th, Park of the 107th, Westbrook of the 163rd, and others. Bill be titled an Act to amend Chapter 13 and Title 19 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to family violence.
Judiciary,
House Resolution 96 by Representative Moore of the 91st and Crawford of the 89th. A resolution recognizing Dr. Gregory B. Levitt Sr. and dedicating a road in his honor.
Transportation,
House Resolution 97 by Representative Green of the 154th, Donahue to the 31st, Smith of the 41st, Workeyes of the 157th, and Hilton of the 48th. Resolution authorizing the conveyance of certain state-owned property.
State Properties,
House Resolution 98 by Representative Green of the 154th, Donahue to the 31st, Smith of the 41st, Workeyes of the 157th, and Hilton of the 48th. A resolution authorizing the granting of non-exclusive easements for construction, installation, operation, and maintenance.
State Properties,
House Resolution 99 by Representative Schofield of the 63rd, Hughley of the 141st, Davis of the 87th, Cannon of the 58th, Scott of the 76th. Resolution proposing an amendment to the Constitution so as to provide that the General Assembly shall be authorized.
Appropriations,
House Resolution 100 by Representative Schofield of the 63rd, Townsend of the 179th, Trent of the 85th, Davis of the 87th, Scott of the 76th, and others. A resolution creating a House Study Committee on the cumulative impact of pollution on economic development and growth.
Natural Resources and Environment,
That completes first readers.
second reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill 140 by Representative Gullett of the 19th, Jenkins of the 136th, Barton of the 5th, Lumpson of the 12th, and Tarvin of the 2nd. A bill relating to local government budgets and audits. House Bill 141 by Representative Montana of the 17th, Kelly of the 16th, Ballinger of the 23rd, Cannon of the 172nd, Cox of the 28th, and others. A bill relating to levy on business or practitioner with location or office in more than one jurisdiction, allocating gross receipts and limits of levies using criteria for taxation. House Bill 142 by Representative Newton of the 127th, Dickey of the 134th, Williamson of the 112th, Ford of the 170th, Buckner of the 137th. The bill relating to general provisions relative to ad valorem taxation of property. House Bill 143 by Representative Dickey of the 134th, Smith of the 70th, Yurta of the 152nd, Green of the 154th, Cannon of the 172nd, and others. A bill relating to water resources. House Bill 144 by Representative Newton of the 127th, Hawkins of the 27th, Taylor of the 173rd, Stevens of the 164th, Westbrook of the 163rd, and others. A bill relating to income taxes. House Bill 145 by Representative Silcox of the 53rd, Hilton of the 48th, Jones of the 47th, Stevens of the 164th, Reeves of the 99th. A bill relating to other state symbols. House Bill 146 by Representative Taylor of the 92nd, Hughley of the 141st, Jackson of the 165th, McLean of the 109th, Glaze of the 67th, and others. A bill relating to holidays and observances. House Bill 147 by Representative Thomas of the 21st, Jones of the 25th, Crow of the 118th, Gullett of the 19th, Clifton of the 131st, and others. A bill relating to the Georgia Technology Authority. House Bill 148 by Representative Carson of the 46th, Wilkerson of the 38th, Williamson of the 112th, Powell of the 33rd, Blackman of the 146th. A bill relating to accountants. House Bill 149 by Representative Barnes of the 86th, Hughley of the 141st, Oliver of the 84th, Owl of the 50th, Buckner of the 137th, and others. A bill relating to the Department of Public Health. House Bill 150 by Representative Fleming of the 114th, Gaines of the 120th, Barrett of the 24th, Scoggins of the 14th, Carpenter of the 4th, and others. A bill relating to the university system. House Bill 151 by Representative Montana of the 17th, Cannon of the 172nd, Hagan of the 156th, Corbett of the 174th, Osteen of the 169th, and others. A bill relating to income taxes. House Bill 152 by Representative Reeves of the 99th, Anderson of the 10th, Thomas of the 21st, Okoye of the 102nd, Williams of the 168th, and others. A bill relating to state, county, and municipal road systems. House Bill 153 by Representative Camp of the 135th, Kelly of the 16th, Williams of the 148th, Smith of the 138th, Clifton of the 131st, and others. A bill relating to sales and use tax exemptions for manufacturing equipment, industrial materials, packing supplies, and energy. House Bill 154 by Representative Richardson of the 125th, Clifton of the 131st, Mathis of the 133rd, Anderson of the 10th, Gunter of the 8th, and others. A bill relating to emergency medical services. House Bill 155 by Representative Anderson of the 10th, LaHood of the 175th, Cannon of the 172nd, Thomas of the 21st, Cox of the 28th, and others. A bill relating to procedure for resolving annexation disputes. House Bill 156 by Representative Jones of the 25th, Thomas of the 21st, Hilton of the 48th, LaHood of the 175th, Crow of the 118th, a bill relating to general provisions relative to aviation. House Bill 157 by Representative Donahue of the 31st, Persinger of the 119th, Gaines of the 120th, and Irwin of the 32nd, a bill to amend an act to provide a new charter for the town of Braselton. House Bill 158 by Representative Franklin of the 160th, Westbrook of the 163rd, Smith of the 18th, Chokes of the 151st, Stevens of the 164th, a bill relating to registration of business using trade names. House Bill 159 by Representative Crowe of the 118th, Reeves of the 99th, Camp of the 135th, and New of the 40th, a bill relating to the Georgia Housing and Finance Authority. House Bill 160 by Representative Smith of the 18th, Huddleston of the 72nd, Howard of the 71st, a bill to amend an act establishing a city court in the city of Carrollton. House Bill 161 by Representative Crowe of the 118th, Reeves of the 99th, New of the 40th, Camp of the 135th, and Smith of the 18th, a bill relating to general provisions relative to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. House Bill 162 by Representative Hagan of the 156th, Werkheiser of the 157th, Leverett of the 123rd, Reeves of the 99th, Dempsey of the 13th, and others, a bill relating to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. House Bill 163 by Representative Ridley of the 22nd, Ridley of the 6th, Hagan of the 156th, Carpenter of the 4th, Cox of the 28th, and others, a bill relating to food service establishments. House Resolution 70 by Representative Donahue of the 31st, Irwin of the 32nd, Burns of the 159th, Persinger of the 119th, Seabaugh of the 34th, and others, a resolution honoring the life of Officer Christopher Lee Roos and dedicating an intersection in his memory. House Resolution 71 by Representative Griffin of the 149th, resolution honoring the life and memory of Mrs. Latasha R. Butts and dedicating a road in her memory. House Resolution 72 by Representative Hawkins of the 27th, Green of the 154th, Mathiak of the 82nd, Silcox of the 53rd, Dempsey of the 13th, resolution creating the House Study Committee on Cancer Care Access. 3 second readers.
Reports of standing committees, the clerk will read.
Representative Chuck Martin of the 49th District, Chairman of the Committee on Higher Education, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Higher Education has had under its consideration the following bill of the House. It instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendation. House Bill 38 do pass. Respectfully submitted, Representative Chuck Martin of the 49th District, Chairman. That completes the reading of the reports of standing committees.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Members, we'll move on to morning orders this morning. We have some friends and families from back home who've made the trip here, so I'm going to ask all members will please cease conversations and take your seat. Members will please take your seats. Show the member in the well respect. If you have conversations, the South Ante room is open. Please take them outside. If you're congregating, please uncongregate. I'm not sure that's a word or not, but it means go back to your seats. I think that's what that means. So, members, we have a couple of very respectful morning orders that we're going to take up that would normally be an afternoon order. Because families are here, we're going to ask members to all take your seats and cease conversation. Representative Chaz Cannon is recognized for a morning order. I'm going to ask members if you will please stand as he recognizes a former member of this House. Representative Cannon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise this morning to honor the life and service of William G. Billy Fallon, who passed away on January 4th after 92 years of extraordinary life of service to our community in Moultrie and to our state. Billy graduated at the age of 15 from Moultrie High School and entered Georgia Military College in Milledgeville. He then enrolled in Mercer University with a degree in history and went on to receive his Juris Doctor from the Walter F. George School of Law. He became a member of the Georgia Bar in 1959 and served more than 6 decades in the legal profession. In addition to his legal career, Billy was also a veteran of the U.S. Army and served during the Korean War. He served 2 terms in the Georgia House from 1967 to 1970, and 3 terms as the chairman of the Colquitt County Board of Commissioners, including one as president of ACCG. Billy was also on the Georgia Board of Industry and Trade, the inaugural Georgia World Congress Center Authority, the inaugural State Quality Basic Education Initiative, and was in the very second class of Leadership Georgia. Aside from this extraordinary life of achievement, perhaps his greatest accomplishment was marrying the love of his life, his beautiful bride of 67 years, Miss Barbara Fallon. Together they had 3 wonderful children, Leah, Bill, and Laura. Leah joins us this morning in the gallery. For 92 years, Billy lived a life of purpose, passion, and meaning through his commitment to God, family, and community. Our state is better off as a result. Please join me in a moment of silence for the life and service of William G. Billy Fallon. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Representative, is Leah in the gallery?
Mr. Speaker, she is.
Could we welcome Leah and thank you for your family service? Thank you for being here with us today. I'm sure your dad loved this house. Let's welcome Representatives Yurta, Ford, and maybe some other friends for another remembrance at this time as a morning order, because we do have some folks in the gallery y'all would also like to recognize. So, Representative Yurta, Chairman Yurta. Representative Ford and Representative Osteen and other friends.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Members, will you please, excuse me, sir, will you suspend? Members, please rise.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We rise today to honor the life of Bryce Johnson. Bryce was the Tifton Judicial Circuit DA who passed away on December 2nd, 2024. Bryce was first elected DA in 2020, and just last year he ran unopposed and was about to start his second term. Bryce was a loving husband to Erica and proud father to Will and son to Terry. Bryce was a resident of Tifton, but he grew up in Worth County, and I can tell you Worth County was very proud of Bryce and all his accomplishments. Bryce was an example to all of us about integrity, leadership, and how to treat people. He was hardworking, extremely bright, and most importantly, he had a great sense of humor. And I can tell you that's a rare combination, but Bryce had it, and a lot of you knew it here. Bryce loved politics. Some have referred to Bryce as having an encyclopedic knowledge of politics, especially Georgia politics. Bryce would often come by the store and talk politics. Didn't matter if I had work to do, but we always loved talking to Bryce. We could spend hours talking politics, and you know, that knowledge, I could retain about 10% of what he knew. So, as a matter of fact, Bryce knew more about some of my elections than I recalled. Bryce also loves sports. He's a big Worth County Rams fan, loved the Braves, FSU, and I think Erica even talked him into being a Georgia fan from time to time. Bryce, as y'all know, was involved in the Republican leadership of Georgia. He met many friends up here in this body from that experience. Bryce was really no stranger to the Capitol. Just last year, he attended judicial hearings for an additional judge to the Tifton Judicial Circuit, and his attendance was very valued to me and others in our district that helped push that legislation through, and he was there for the bill signing as well. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if Bryce isn't up in heaven having long political discussions with former governors and even presidents. And I tell you, Bryce leaves a big hole in Southwest Georgia and all over the state. And as a friend, I'm gonna deeply miss Bryce. And you know, it's something that you know, that I value his friendship forever.
I think I can speak on behalf of a lot of us up here when we say we wouldn't be here without the encouragement and political wisdom from our dear friend Bryce Johnson. If you'd allow me, I'd like to share with you this resolution honoring the life and memory of Bryce Allen Johnson. Whereas the state of Georgia mourns the loss of one of its most distinguished citizens with the passing of District Attorney Bryce Allen Johnson on December 2nd, 2024. Whereas Bryce Allen Johnson was born on January 6, 1972 in Sylvester, Georgia, a beloved son of Donnie Lee Johnson and Terry Raines McCord. Whereas Bryce Allen Johnson showed an affinity for politics from a young age, and his commitment to his beliefs, as well as his ability to debate the most divisive political topics with respect and good humor, were inspirational to those around him. And whereas in his adult life he served in various capacities in local, district, and state Republican organizations, as Solicitor General for several towns, and as a district attorney of the Tifton Judicial Circuit. Whereas outside of politics, Bryce Johnson found joy in watching his favorite teams play, coaching his son's sports endeavors, and serving as the professor to the Chick-fil-A Friday night football radio show. Whereas a man of deep and abiding faith, Bryce Allen Johnson was an active member of the First Methodist Church of Tifton, where he served as president of the church council and was a member of several committees. And whereas he was united in love and marriage to his wife Erica Stribling Johnson and was blessed with a remarkable child, William Allen Johnson. Whereas he will be remembered for his encyclopedic knowledge of facts, both important and trivial. Bryce Allen Johnson could always recite a team roster, a school's mascot, a county seat, or even a school's most famous player. And whereas a compassionate and generous man, Bryce Allen Johnson will long be remembered for his love of family, friendship, and community, and will be missed by all who had the great fortune of knowing him. Would the family of Bryce Johnson please stand? And may we have a moment of silence as we honor Bryce for a life well lived that will not soon be forgotten. Thank you.
Thank you, members, and thank you, all of the representatives. A great remembrance. Thank you all for making the trip up from South Georgia to be with us. It's a great day of remembrance, and we appreciate Bryce's contributions to his family, the community, and to this state. Thank you all so much for being here. God bless you all. Representative Kimberly New has some important information. She's on, so give her a listen up. She also, she's got several friends with her. We're going to talk about CSG South. Representative New.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members of the House. Good morning. I'd like to ask all of my CALS alum family to come join me in the front. It is my pleasure to welcome CSG South to the Georgia House. Please stand up. CSG South is a nonprofit, nonpartisan member organization that serves 15 southern states. They provide policy research and analysis, leadership development, governmental staff training, the CALS alums standing with me, and we all highly recommend this program. It's the Center for Advancement for Leadership Skills program. It was an amazing experience. It was wonderful to meet legislators from 15 different southern states, and we are just better for it, and better legislators for being a part of it. CSG also hosts their annual Southern Legislative Conference, which this year will be held in Birmingham, Alabama, July 19th through the 23rd. They are headquartered in Atlanta, and today we have with us the Regional Director, Lindsay Gray, Director of Marketing and Program Extraordinaire, Angel Talisman, Communications Coordinator Hope Grindle, and Programs Associate Jaslyn Jones. Please join me in welcoming them to Georgia and to the People's House. Thank you.
Do you have another one as well? Let me just say this before you move on to your other morning order. CSG, we appreciate you. Y'all are my favorite. I don't know about the rest of these folks, but I can tell you that. And give I heard several Me Too's. So we appreciate y'all, and the information y'all bring to us year round is very helpful, and we appreciate your input and your counsel. Thank you so much, and good to have y'all here. Okay, representing you have the microphone again.
Thank you, sir. And members, if I could have my delegate, well, I do have my delegation with me. Missing one, but today it is my honor to welcome my friend and Douglas County Chief Superior Court Judge, Cynthia Adams. She's been serving as Superior Court Judge since 2017. She is the first African American to serve as the judge and Chief Superior Court Judge in Douglas County on the state or Superior Court level. She was originally appointed in 2017 and has been reelected twice to continue serving her community. She's married to her college sweetheart, Dwayne, has 2 wonderful kids. Please join me in welcoming her to the People's House. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Judge, welcome. We're glad to have you here. We appreciate your work and your community. It's making a difference, and obviously they keep returning you, so congratulations on that. And we appreciate your wisdom and justice and moderation that you bring to the people. Thank you so much. Chairman Hawkins, I think you have a special announcement. Some folks are here with us today. Chairman Hawkins, give the gentleman your attention, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today we have the members of the Georgia Dental Association up on, I think, 3 sides. I'd like to commend this profession for all they do for the Missions of Mercy, where they treat over 1,000 people in one day, the time they give in the private clinics of their free time at no charge, taking care of the patients of Georgia, and for all the continuing education that they go through every year to make sure that the treatment is up to date and Georgians get the best health access to care of anywhere in the United States. Stand up and be recognized. There you go. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Nice ties. They're beautiful. Thank y'all. We know that our physical health is tied to our oral health. So thank you for everything you do in serving the people of Georgia as well. We appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for your work over the years in your profession. Okay, Representative Fleming, Crow, and Henderson will all meet at the well, and we're going to have another nice group of folks are here with us today. Come on, Representative Henderson. We're ready, sir. If you're ready, we're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Newton County delegation is honored today to have Leadership Newton County with us today. As an alumni of the association myself, it's a great program for our leaders in Newton County and business leaders. So if Leadership Newton County would stand so we can recognize y'all, and thank y'all for being here today. Thank y'all, and thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chairman Gunther. We had to relocate you, man. Members, we have a motion that I'm going to recognize and ask for what purpose does Chairman Gunther rise?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to make a motion to recommit House Bill 55 to
So
the
let's do it this way. So we're going to go by the rules. I know you're a former judge. I know you like to go by the rules. So I'm going to do my best. State your motion.
I move to recommit House Bill 55 to the Judiciary Committee.
Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption?
House Bill 55 by Representative Ford of the 170th, Burchett of the 176th, Corbett of the 174th, and others, being titled an act to amend Code Section 1562 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating the number of judges of superior courts.
On the gentleman's motion that House Bill 55 be recommitted to the Judiciary Committee, is there objection? Hearing none, it's so ordered. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to a group of privileged resolutions?
Honoring the life and memory of Reverend Dr. Homer Lee Mitchell, Sr. Recognizing February 4, 2025 as Girl Scout Day at the state capitol. Recognizing commending the National Council of Negro Women. Commending the George Walton James Oglethorpe chapters of the Daughters of the American Revolutions 2024-2025 Good Citizens. Recognizing and commending Sirish Subash, the winner of the 3M Young Science Challenge, and recognizing January 26th to February 1st, 2025 as Physician Anesthesiologist Week at the State Capitol. And for other purposes, that completes the reading of the privileged resolutions.
Is there any objection to adopting the privileged resolutions? Chair hears none of the resolutions are adopted. Afternoon orders. We'll move on to afternoon orders now, ladies and gentlemen, members of the House. Members, we have a very timely afternoon order here that Representative Lauren McDonald is going to bring to us about the tragedy that occurred yesterday. So if you will, please rise and everyone give the gentleman and friends in the well your attention as we pay respect to that loss of life, that horrendous tragedy that occurred. Representative McDonald and friends.
Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen of the House, last night at approximately 2100 hours, a tragic mid-air collision occurred just north of runway 33 at Reagan International Airport, involving American Airlines Flight 5342 and a United States Army UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter. As over 300 emergency responders arrived on the scene, they worked tirelessly in an effort to rescue any survivors. However, as time passed, their mission shifted from rescue to recovery. Today, I ask this General Assembly and all of Georgia to join me in praying for these souls lost in this devastating incident and for the families who now face unimaginable grief. To those members of our Assembly, including our Speaker who are in Washington, D.C., we're grateful for your safe return last night. Please be with all our nation's transportation partners that move our loved ones around this globe. We pray for them as safety of its passengers is paramount for their mission. As I close, I ask that we also keep in our prayers the first responders who have worked through the night in the recovery effort. Their difficult task of identifying and returning loved ones to their families is just beginning. May we pause in a moment of silence as a body in support of all these affected by this heartbreaking tragedy. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
Thank you, Representative. And members, I hope that you will, not only with this moment of silence in our prayers today, but prayers for these families in the days that come as they deal with this tragic situation. Tragic situation. Representative Schofield, you're recognized to speak to us about the American Heart Association. Representative Schofield.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, colleagues. As we've been hearing that Thursday, February 6th, go red for women legislators. We're asking everyone to wear red. It's the American Heart Association advisory campaign to bring awareness to women and everyone affected by cardiovascular disease. And then on Friday, February 7th, the 10th annual Go Red for Women luncheon hosted by State Representative Doreen Carter. It'll be here at the Capitol at noon. Go Red. I just want to say a quick, in 2020, I was standing here as we were doing the Go Red recognition, and all of the symptoms she kept saying, I kept saying to one of my colleagues, I got 4 of those symptoms going on right now. And we got back up because we were in COVID. I got back up there, and all of a sudden, nurse Representative Viola Davis started checking my she started checking my pulse, and she said, something's wrong. Then Representative Doreen gave me and slipped something under my tongue. I went down to the nurse's station. They were about to call the ambulance. I actually drove myself to the hospital, and they told me if I had not gotten there, I would have stroked out. So when we're telling symptoms here, we're saving lives that we don't even know being saved. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'll see you.
Might be your own. Thank you. Representative Angela Moore, do you have an afternoon order? While the lady's coming down, take your time. We have a former member of the House, I believe, on the floor. Is former Representative Melvin Everson here? He was here a little early. There's Melvin, Representative Everson. Come on up, Melvin. Let's get a photo. Let's all welcome Representative Everson back to the House. The lady will suspend just for a moment. So Representative Everson was a member of one of the finest classes to ever come to the Georgia House. As he joined, I don't know where Representative Sheila is, but joined a class that I was in. Melvin, it's good to see you again, sir. And also former Representative England as well. Representative Moore, you ready? Representative Angela Moore. And friends.
They're being seated.
One friend anyway.
2. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think our debutantes are seated. Colleagues, in the past, the debutantes at the Capitol event have consisted of young women rising to college level. This year, we have beaux, young men who will rise and be presented this year. They are from DeKalb County, Rockdale County, Henry County, Newton County, and I don't know if there's another county, but we are considering them as the Debs and the dudes and the debutantes from the east side of the A. These young people are doing amazing things in our community. They are excelling academically, and over the last 3 years of them being here, they have completed over 1,122 hours of volunteer service. All of our previous debutantes have attended colleges such as Boston Conservatory, Georgia State, Georgia Southern, Fort Valley, FAMU, Arkansas, Alabama A&M, Savannah State, Kennesaw State, Howard University, and the University of California. Melissa Sims is the founder and director of Showtime Pros, and she's earned her bachelor's degree here in Georgia, and she is in charge of this group. The mission of Showtime Pros is to advance the individuals and combat community deterioration and juvenile delinquency through mentorship, scholarship, and community service projects. Since founding Showtime Pros in 2017, there have been 52 young adults that have successfully been entered into society. Showtime's Pros has awarded $12,000 in scholarships since 2023. Mr. Speaker, colleagues, would you please help me welcome the young people to the House of Representatives, the 2025 Showtime Pros, Beaux, and Debutantes from the east side of the A.
Welcome to the House. We are proud y'all made the effort to be here. You're a good-looking group.
And please join us in room 216 for a taco bar to honor our debutantes and beaux.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Floyd Griffin is recognized for an afternoon order. Representative Griffin. Give the gentleman your attention, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I rise also on the sad occasion of last evening in the Washington. Thank you. I rise on the sad occasion of what happened in the Washington, D.C. area last night. For those of you who don't know my background, I am a combat helicopter pilot in Vietnam. I also served in a VIP unit in the Washington, D.C. area, where my unit flew VIPs around the Washington, D.C. area. I've flown into Reagan National a number of times. I've flown into Dulles a number of times, Pentagon and so forth. That area up there is when at least my co-pilot and I and other people flying choppers had to be on our best alert because it is dangerous flying in that area. So I don't know what happened last night, but I know that anytime we lose anyone, especially in this case, our military pilots. Really, we call ourselves aviators. So I saw a lot of soldiers in Vietnam lose their lives in choppers when they were shot down or for other reasons. So I didn't see that last night. This morning when I came in, I looked at my cell phone, and that's the first thing popped up to me. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. So I also will pray for the families of the military families and the families of the civilians that was lost in that tragic situation. Mr. Speaker, thank you, and I yield to Rick Will.
Thank you, Representative, and thank you for your service today, and thank you for your service in the past. That completes our afternoon orders. We'll move on to announcement. Leader Estration is recognized for an announcement. Give the gentleman in the well your attention, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For planning purposes, there will be a committee chairman's lunch on Monday at noon in room 403. Thank you.
Representative Park Cannon and Representative McQueen. There's Representative McQueen. So, thank you. Ladies recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Fulton County Delegation members, please join us for a joint meeting of the House and Senate Fulton Delegation on Thursday, today, January 30th, at 4 p.m. in CAT 216. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative McQueen. Chairman Stevens, Chairman Ron Stevens, recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today at 1 o'clock, room 403, the Economic Development and Tourism Committee will meet for a short meeting to adopt our rules. 1 o'clock, 403 here at the Capitol.
That completes our announcements. We do have a birthday over the weekend. I don't know how old this guy is going to be. I'm not even going to ask. But on the 31st of January, Representative Lehman Franklin has a birthday. Representative Franklin, happy birthday. Happy birthday, sir. Representative Dewey McLean had an announcement, and we've located him. He's ready to go. Representative McLean, give the gentleman your attention. We're about ready to adjourn.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just want everyone to know about the Working Family Caucus luncheon today. It's in room 307 in the CLOB, and we are having lunch. And today's topic will be about the GBPI, where we'll talk about the 25 budget as well as the 26 budget. So if you get a chance, please come by 307 in the CLOB, and lunch will be provided. Look forward to it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative McLean. Majority Leader F. Stration is recognized for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that this House stand adjourned until 10 a.m. on Monday, February 3rd, 2025.
On the motion of the Majority Leader, that this House stand adjourned until another month rolls around, until 10 a.m. Monday, February the 3rd, 2025. All in favor of that motion will now say aye. All those in favor of that motion will now say aye. All those opposed, no. Boy, the ayes were strong. This House will be adjourned. Thank you very much. Thank you for your work this week.